Your goal in Layer Puzzle, a game by Libon Van and Plate, is simple. Mark all of the spaces in this grid. Whoa, easy there, Tiger. It's a little more complicated than that. Let me show you. Each player in Layer Puzzle gets their own set of 4 plastic grids in the color of their choice, 4 tokens with the letters A, B, C, D that match the quadrants in the grid, and a marker. The game lasts 5 rounds, and at the end of 5 rounds, you see who has done the best job and has the highest score. A round is going to start with whoever has the L token. You turn over one of the shape cards from the deck, and that player is going to choose a quadrant in which everyone is going to draw one of these shapes. So they might choose quadrant D at the beginning of the game. Doesn't matter what quadrant you're choosing. And then they are going to draw this L shape, and they can rotate it and flip it as they wish. I'm going to pick something as well. Let's say I do this pyramid type shape here. I mark off the shapes. And red and blue choose something as well. Red chooses one of these 2, and blue gets what's left. Everyone then takes back their marker, flips it face down, because we're done with D for now. Gonna flip over a new card, rotate. I get to start choosing A, B, or C. I'm going to draw one of these shapes, or take 2 coins. When you take coins, you mark them off on your grid. Each coin you have at the end of the game is worth 1 point. Coins are fine, but ideally you want to mark things. So A, I'm gonna be straightforward and just mark this top row. Everyone else is going to do A as well. Whoever gets the coins gets this marker, and they will determine the first player for the next round, unless someone takes 4 coins over the next 2 turns and takes that away from them. So red chooses. We go around the table. They're going to choose B or C because A and D have been chosen. I'm the last player. I might end up getting the coins. Okay. I don't take this away from whoever got it. We go over here. We're going to have only one of these left. Let's say it's B, and the blue player does here, here, and I do this one. When you draw, you can overlap the quadrants as long as at least 2 squares fall into the original quadrant. So I could take this shape and go here, because those 4 have 3 of the marks in B, so I'm all good. Now, get back the tokens. We flip them all over. We're going to start a new round. Whoever took this, probably the red player, no, the yellow player, thinking about who would take coins last, they're going to decide who's going to start. They can choose themselves, they can choose someone else. Let's say they choose blue, so then they get to go second and they get to go first. You generally want early choice of which quadrant you're drawing in. Now, the complicating factor is that you're no longer going to draw on this sheet. This is for round 1. You're now going to take this sheet and cover it and put it aside and try to remember what you did. I didn't tell you this was a memory game. You might have turned off this video right away, but this is a memory game. So flip this over. Blue player is now going to choose a quadrant, trying to remember where they drew things before. So let's say they do A, choosing one of these shapes. They go A, I go A. Maybe I want the square, and I remember that I drew a line up here, and there was another square up here, and so let me mark this. I have not covered these squares previously with what I did. I can try to remember what I've done. I can't mark it. I can't just like make some sort of reminder. No, I'm gonna rely on memory here. Try to picture everything overlapping. So red player gets this. Now, these have all looked the same so far, right? 4 squares and some quadramino. You see a lot of the same shapes over and over again. These are the basic shape cards, and you can play with only the basic shape cards. There's 15 of them. The game lasts 18 turns total, so you would shuffle them draw more, or you can use the advanced cards. I recommend doing a first round with the basic and then shuffling all the shape cards together and just seeing what comes up from there. And these get a lot more fun. Also, a lot harder to remember. So we did A the first time. Yellow is trying to remember. I think D will work best with whatever they're doing. So I have to choose D. Do you remember what I did for D? I do. So I can choose this. I remember that I did this little pyramid shape here. So I can take this and mark around where I know that exists. And there we go. Everyone else does D. Get this back. We flip over a new card. I'm now the start player. We're going to have B or C. I did nothing in C last time because I had to take coins. Maybe I want to get started in C, balance things out. We'll go here. Okay, everyone else is going to do C. We have only B left. This player starts. I get whatever is left. Let's say it's this one. And now I have to remember what I did for B. And this goes aside now as round 2. We're going to do this 2 more times with these sheets. So, did anyone take coins? I do not actually remember. 1, 2, 3. Someone took coins. It was the red player. They're going to choose who goes first. And they want to go first. Okay. So I get last choice in whatever comes up here. And let's just say it's this one. And it's going to be A. I'm just choosing at random now because I have no idea what red took, where they drew things. I am not focusing on their board at all. I'm trying to remember what I did. So I'm going to get whatever is left. And there we go. I get A. I have to draw here. I remember there was that and the square in there. And let's flip this over so I can do this. Okay. I think these are the only 2 spaces left in A. A little hard to keep the memory going while talking constantly. Blue player goes first, does something. Let's say they do B. Let's say I end up taking this one as my choice. And again, try to picture everything. Okay, I go second on this. And let's say C. They want C. I drew that in C. I'm going to go here again and fill in this area. So I think this row is all done. That's the only one that's exposed there. And so on. Now I get first choice on D. And do you know what I have here? 1, 2, 3. I could put that up there. Actually, this one would work really well as a first choice for D, because I can do this. And there we go. Round 3. Put that aside. So, definite memory challenge. You're not really focusing on what other people are doing. This is called layer puzzle. It is very much a puzzle in that you are just trying to get the best score you can. You're probably not looking at what other people are doing. We had no coins in that one. Oh, we have 1 coin. Someone took it. Let's just say blue did. They're going to be the first player now. We go into round 4. We do 4 cards in round 4, and then we're going to have a round 5 with only 2 cards. Get to hopefully fill in some final gaps in that round. So they do B, they do B. B, where do I still need to fill things in? I think that one. Okay. Someone chose B. All right. Yellow chooses. They go here. Let's say they do A, and I feel like I'm pretty confident with what I've done in A. I'm going to go ahead and choose the coins because I want to be the player who determines who goes first in the last round. All right. Other people choose their A's. I go first now. And C, I've still not done a great deal. We got that. So we're going to choose this one because this will go here because I know that's empty. And then these. Because again, you can rotate it and flip it. As long as I have that L shape with one off the end, we're all good. Everyone else does C's. I get last choice in D. Let's say it's this. And I don't have a choice of coins now. You may want the coins at a certain point because you think everything is full, or you're not exactly sure. I actually don't think I got this one. So if I ended up with this shape, I'd fit it in right here. Now, for round 5, you go back to your first card. Oops, just the first card, not the other ones. And you're going to do 2 more turns. If I get to choose who goes first, I'm going to have yellow go first because yellow will choose a quadrant. Hopefully they choose something I want. If they don't, I'm going to go first in the final turn, and I will definitely get to choose what I want, assuming I remember anything that I did at this point. I'm a little iffy. Let's say I should just choose at random, just so. Okay, they choose C. They're going to go here. I get C. I think I need a little up in here. There's 3 and 1, but that's done. 2 and 2, but that's done as well. Okay. I feel like I want that and that and that. I want this. Okay. And then last card, I get to choose A, B, or D. I feel like that. I feel something in there could be missing. That's done. I think that's done. This is so hard when you're talking the entire time and not paying too close attention. Let's go B. No, because that's done. This. All right, we're going to go B, possibly wasting all of my moves here. But we're done. Okay. Obviously, be a little more thoughtful if you were playing not on camera, not talking the entire time. And you can see all that I did. How does this stack up? Well, you just take the cards and literally stack them. Now you get to see. Oh. Okay. There is a red marker included, and you can highlight every space that you missed. I think that one was marked because that was one of the... Actually, I think that one was marked, and then that was marked before. Another hazard of the game. Be careful when you're handling the sheets. I'm rubbing them right now on the cloth as I'm moving them around and on the boards. You can see they scrape off on here. One hazard of the game. Okay, so red mark. You lose 1 point for every open space on your board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You gain a point for every coin. So my final score is -4, which is actually a decent score because the best you can do in this game, absolutely the best. You've got 18 turns. You're ideally covering 4 spaces on a turn that you've never covered before. So after 16 turns, you've marked off 64 squares. And there are 64 squares in the entire grid, which means you could take 2 turns to collect coins. If you've filled everything in the grid, that's 0. This is 4, and your maximum score is 4. I have not seen anyone get that yet. I've seen a 0, and I've seen a 1. Okay, that's close. Some people are incredibly good at remembering what they've drawn, and others not so much. You want a system, but of course, you don't know what you're getting, you don't know what quadrant things are going into, and so you just have to build it up bit by bit, improving ideally with each game you play. There's an overview of Layer Puzzle, which I played 3 times on a review copy from Plate, twice with 3 players, and once with 4. And did I make the right call by not mentioning at the beginning that this was a memory game? I know memory games scare off a lot of people. It's a very specific skill that people will just say, I'm bad at that, therefore out. Don't want to play any game like that. And memory seems like a skill that's not akin to a lot of other game mechanisms, because you have worker placement and auctions and area control, and you feel like you can improve over time. You understand the system of how things work. You see how to manage everything, manage your money, manage whatever resources, workers, whatever it is. You feel like you can get better at that. And then memory seems like it's just this other thing that you can do or not do. But that's not the case, because you can learn to memorize things better. You can look at documentaries of people who have memorized thousands of digits of pi, and you talk about things like that, or memorize in the order of an entire deck of cards. I find that fascinating because my memory is not great, but watching that, just seeing how they're trying to picture things, and sometimes it's telling a story, and sometimes it's just a sort of organized system in their head that they picture for doing everything, all sorts of other mnemonics that you can try to use to memorize. And I find this game really interesting for that. But again, I'm not worrying about what everyone else is doing. I am never going to be looking at what you're drawing in quadrant B and then trying to remember that next time we're in another round and your B is now hidden and I have to try to imagine what you've done in quadrant B. I'm going to have enough trouble imagining what I'm doing. So it's just you doing your own thing. It is very much a solitaire puzzle that becomes a game just because everyone's doing it at the same time and you compare scores. The options go away as you're choosing something off a shape card, but again, you're rarely going to choose something that someone else wants, except perhaps coins. Coins are okay. They're 2 points. But if you cover something, you're saving yourself 4 negative points. Except, of course, if that area is already full or the shapes don't work or whatever it is, or you want to be sure that you can choose first next time, or maybe have the player on your right choose first and then you choose second. That kind of gives you more control over what you're doing. That can become very important. Played a game in which someone was really good. They knew I had these 3 spaces left. They could picture everything. And the final card came up and they're like, oh, I can cover these 2 by crossing over this and after flipping it over and doing this. They actually had a second spot that was not covered, but to be able to have all that in your head, I want to get up to that point. I want to be able to do that, feel like I had the focus, and maybe I just play solitaire, try to practice my skills, refresh my aging brain, all that sort of stuff. It's a fun puzzle that some people, of course, really, really hate. Taught it to one group, and they were just like, whoa, memory. They just flipped out immediately, wanted to rate marks. Took a long time, from my perspective, to play because they were really trying to constantly picture how everything was laid out on their grid and how things were going to fit in. And I want to go faster. I want that memory just piling up very rapidly. Sheets of paper like you're flipping them and seeing a little cartoon, and it all comes together as one continuous thing. But you're just sitting there waiting, and then a cat came in. You're like, oh, hey, kitty. And it's just like, whoosh, a little portion of your brain just got wiped clean. So it is a challenge to do this well. And I can understand why memory games are not for some people. Maybe it's not for you, but maybe it's for someone you do know, and you can give this to them as a gift and then run away and never play it with them. They'll have fun, at least, as long as someone has fun. That's a start.